YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We are live. So, hello out there. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to an episode of the Hard Rock Show. I am Andrew.
I'm Mick.
That's it. And we have finally got Mick back after. How long has it been since you were have been on? Do you think? I've forgotten.
I believe it was the summer of 2018. No, it would be over 6 months. I think it would be around six, maybe longer, possibly. I think I was pretty much absent through 2020 for a lot of it, for various reasons, and then wasn't able to get going until tonight. So I'm either going to be sorely missed, or damn it, that guy's back again. So we'll find out in the comments, I guess. We'll see how it goes. But
yeah, we'll
yeah. So maybe it's a good thing that I can't see the comments right now. Maybe I don't want to see them, So we'll see how we go.
We do. Hey, Colin. Good to see you. So someone's already jumping in. So here we go. So Colin has jumped in on Twitter or Periscope. He's saying hi.
Oh, I see that. Yep.
Yeah. So I can bring him up on the screen. So we're going to teach Mick as we go along how this platform works. He's saying to bring on Rob Zombie, which we will be doing very, very soon. So for those who want to know, tonight we're going to talk about the latest from Melbourne band Katana Cartel, overseas bands Thunder, Rob Zombie, and Saxon as well. We'll have a hot topic and all that in a second. A big thank you to our sponsors, as always, in Squitting, Screen Printing, Old Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their links are in the description of this. Find them, give them a follow, and if you want to check us out, all of our links are there as well. You know what to do: find, follow, all that sort of stuff, and check out our Patreon page too if you'd be so kind. And if you're watching this or listening to this later on and not live with us tonight, then welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy what's going on as well. But like I said, we got tonight we're going to talk about the Sacred Oath from Katana Cartel. Then we've got what else? All the Right Noises from Thunder. Then it's here we go. The Lunar Conspiracy from Rob Zombie, and then inspirations from Saxon. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But we will just sort of here we go. Someone else, mate, Jugum, saying hi guys, hello back. So we'll try and interact with comments where and when we can in between bits and pieces. But I guess just quickly, how have you been going, Mick? It's been, like I said, a little while since you've been here. What's the general? How you been going?
Yeah, good. Very busy, as you know, outside of here. I've sort of tried to keep people involved or at least abreast of what I've been doing. But generally all my stuff outside of the show is pretty much done now. So hopefully some normality will come back in. And I've been good overall. So very busy, but good. So it's nice to be back on the show and doing this again. And looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds because it's my first live stream. So it'll either be more painful than watching us on Channel 31 or it might be okay. So, fingers crossed it goes okay. So, so far, so good. But overall, man, doing well. Still here. Looking forward to getting into tonight's show. Beautiful.
Well, you're getting your first compliment. Mick's hair is looking outstanding from Tim. Hey, Tim. Cheers for jumping into the comments. I know you're watching the footy tonight.
I was feeling very awkward all of a sudden, but that's all right.
I think we'll be okay. We're off to a good start in this regard. Yeah. But no, everything's good. We're all keeping on. Everything's going all right. So
you've been holding the fort really well, man. I know, you run the show there and all that kind of stuff, but you've been, no matter what's going on in your life, you somehow make it week to week. So that's an inspiration in itself. No pun intended. But good on you for keeping the show going. And like I said, man, it's good to be back. So looking forward to talking about these albums tonight.
Awesome. No, good to have you back. And cheers for the kind words. Even Jody's jumped on and said, hi, Mick.
Hello, Jody. You know what? If I hadn't known it was just going to be you and I should have came down tonight. We could have did like old school, together live in person because it's almost like that feels like we used to do that once upon a time. I can't remember how we used to do it. So it feels so long. So
we'll get back to that. Our next special is coming up soon for filming, and I reckon that'll be the time we all get together and get in the room again. And that'll be to do with the legacy of Michael Gudinski, if everything goes to plan. So there's a sneak peek for those playing along at home.
Cool.
So let's get to a hot topic first. Don't want to spend all day and night on this stuff. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a couple of links, and we're having problems getting links through on Periscope. It doesn't seem like I'm going to put a couple of links in there. Go and check those out. And then, looks like it did work on Periscope. That's a good one. Here's another one, and I'll highlight them on the screen in a moment too. This is how it all works when you've got to do things on the fly when you're doing both the production and the
better you than me, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got a website up there saying bandsforfans.com, and there's also a Facebook page which is helping fans, facebook.com/helping fans, and this is all to do when you go to it all. Let me pull it up here on my screen. There's it's an initiative being put together where this is bands giving back to their fans or musicians, people involved in the music scene. And I've got an EP called Bands for Fans Volume 1, which is due out on the 30th of April. You can order it now, back order. It's just $15. And just going to their blurb here, Bands for Fans is a volunteer initiative where we, the bands, musicians, artists, community, give back to the fans who are in need. They've got a whole spiel on why, and so there's a whole little ways to help. They've got tokens and different bits and pieces. Every bit helps, and like I said, they're doing an EP, and this is all to help someone who actually follows our stuff as well. For the record, it's Kim, and she's going through a cancer battle at the moment. So everyone involved in this has donated their time, their effort, and all that sort of stuff, and it's come up to being one of those things where, you know, it's good to see the community in general giving back, and if you feel like getting involved, that's why we put the links on there, and hopefully you'll go and check it out and just pitch in where you can, because Kim has been a big supporter of the scene for a very, very long time, and I won't go into naming her last name on the record, just that I'll let that up to her if she chooses to do that. But yeah, it's good to see a thing like there's a few people involved in this too, actually. When you go to it, hold on, I'll just there it is. So there's posts on who is actually involved in it. So far, you've got Rusty from Electric Mary involved in this, Richie Norton from Super Heist, Reggie Bowman from Southern Sons, and more. You've got Jenny Power from Riff Raiders, who's someone we know very well. We've got Bernard from the Orange Music Group in this as well. There's a few people getting involved behind the scenes, and I'm sure there's room for more. So bands involved in this are going to be Riff Raiders, Super Heist, Jamie Payette, Aaron Kelly, Reggie Bowman, Bottle of Smoke, Electric Mary, and also Be Inside the Circle, which is Rusty's guidance page as well. So I think it's a pretty cool idea. What do you think of that sort of stuff, where it's, you know, trying to give back and get bands helping out to do that sort of stuff?
I think it's tremendous. I think it should be done more often. I mean, I know a lot of bands that talk about wanting to put on benefit shows and charity shows and bits and pieces, but this is just a whole nother way of doing it. My only concern is, and this is only from the outside looking in, is that the funds go to the cause, you know, because so many of these things, they do get lost in the mix. Now, if you go back to, say, little over a year ago, when we had all those fires and bits and pieces going on, there was a lot of donating going on, and somehow that money, and these were two charitable organizations that were a part of it, and well-known people were getting involved, and somehow that money, I don't know if it ever reached the people that really needed it. So that's my only concern, is that whatever you put it towards, that it actually gets there, the amounts that you say that you're going to do, whether it's 50% or 100% or whatever it may be, just making sure that that person or entity or organization is doing their bit to help out those other people that are in need, or person in this particular case. Other than that, I think it's a great idea. I think it should happen more often. I think you could do it for so many different things other than just singling one person and their battles. I think you could do it to breast cancer and autism and all things that are really affecting everyone's communities and, countries and globally or whatever it may be. So, I'm a big supporter of it. I think it's great, and I do hope it does very well.
Awesome. No, I agree with you. I think there's always that element of risk involved, but I think the people behind it seem to have all the right intentions, and I'm pretty sure in this day and age in social media that if they don't do what they promise, they'll get called out for it pretty quickly. So I'm not as concerned about that. I think it's a very good initiative. I, like you, would like to see a lot more of it. I think there's plenty of room for it. Doesn't have to be one person or anything else. I think the more the merrier. It's smart, and it's a good little way of doing things too. If it's a little EP and the bands can get involved in it and everyone can sort of work together a bit, building that community not only amongst the artists, but between the fans and the artists and the scene in general is only going to be good for everyone as well. And bottom line here, hopefully it gets Kim the treatment that she needs, because it's very expensive. I think something like $3,000 a round of treatment.
Unfortunately, all these things that you need, and I still don't know to this day why they're not covered more by government. If you're legitimately sick and there is treatments out there, I don't see why us taxpayers, aren't. I'd rather fund something like that than 3/4 of the things they put money to, I have no issue putting another 1% on my tax if it goes to people legitimately in need. That for whatever reasons, these treatments in this case are very expensive, and let's face it, some of us only make $3,000 in a month. So try and do that on one hit and be okay with it, and maybe have to do it another 2 weeks or a month again. That's tough going. So I think it's great. I actually would like, and I just thought of this right now, it'd be such a good idea if bands got together and put on a show for the venue that they're playing for after everything that's been going on with COVID. Like the Bendigo Hotel, for example. If all these bands got together, said, we'll use your venue, but you're getting the money back. That would be a really good way of bands showing their support for these bands at venues that have been doing it really tough as well. So there's so many avenues you can do for this. This is one of many ways you can sort of get this thing rolling. But I do hope it's a big success, not only for Kim, but for anybody that wants to get involved. So
it's a good idea there too, especially with JobKeeper about to roll off at the end of this month. So that's probably a good thing to think about.
Well, that's another reason. But JobKeeper or not, like the hospitality industry, I don't think has really been helped enough. So what can we do to give back to the places that probably we all took for granted? You knew it was going to be open on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday night, for example, So now that things have changed, and we're still not out of the woods yet, let's face it. I think we're on track, but there's still a bit to go. It would be really nice to see people sort of giving back to, in this case, venues that I was talking about, because without a venue, you got nowhere to play. So you'll be doing what we're doing. You'll be streaming everything from a freaking rehearsal. So, just something to think about for those musicians out there, possibly, tuning in right now. So,
we'll see how it all goes. Yeah. No, well, I hope it all goes well. I think it'll be really good to see this sort of stuff going on. So just once again, here's that link. If you're interested, go and check out bandsforfans.com and help out Kim if you can. There's anything from, like I said, $15 for an EP, and there's other stuff. You can go much more than that or less than that if you choose to. But check it out. Get involved if you can spare it. I know it's tough for everyone at the moment, but, these are the sorts of things where as a community we can pull together and do something nice. Then we should indeed do that. Getting a couple of questions here. Gear is back. So hello from Norway and Viking Queen. I don't know if you saw the stream last time, but this is someone who has joined us before. So hello again. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for joining.
Yeah. And Colin has jumped in and said, when is the anniversary of the Hard Rock Show? Now, good question on that. The actual anniversary is in April. So that's coming up very, very shortly. We might be doing some sort of event for it down the line, and my plan hopefully is to get everyone that's been involved in the show over the years involved in that in some way, shape or form, from way back to this beginning to today and tomorrow and whatever happens between now and then. trying to get all that sort of stuff happening, but there's a lot of things to work through behind the scenes, especially at the moment because of it being much harder than all of us would like to organize these things cleanly. But we will, of course, keep everyone posted on social media. But the actual official anniversary of the Hard Rock Show, the 10th anniversary, is in April. So between April and June or something, we'll try and do something for TV, and then we'll see what happens with TV after after June with the current state of things as they are. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit there. But yeah, stay tuned. There's more to come on that front. And someone who I think knows you, Linda and
Hello.
says, hey, Mick, I see you.
I do know her. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
So there we go. We're getting some love for you, Mick. So
yes,
it's all going well. How about we get on to a review? Do our first one for a live stream for you.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So first up is Katana Cartel with their album The Sacred Oath, 10 tracks for 46 minutes, the debut album from the Australian band after a couple of EPs, released February 2021 independently, produced by Dr. Mike, I hope I get this right, Trebetskov at EOL Studios. After some lineup changes, this band is finally releasing this long-awaited and long-worked-on album. They've had a couple of singles released in Grenade and Dime a Dozen. For context, we had the band on the show many years ago for their debut EP, War Part 1, back in 2016. And we'll be interviewing them again on live stream. Nikki and myself will be here on Tuesday night. So make sure you stick around on Tuesday night to see an interview with the band. How'd you go with this one, Mick?
To be honest with you, I missed the first album. I've only seen a couple of videos, I think, back in the day. I didn't actually get a chance to listen to, I think it was War Part 1 that you said.
Yeah. Yep.
But what I can immediately hear with this band is how much things have improved between those videos or singles or whatever you want to call them to what they're doing now. I think I had a feeling it was going to be good because they took a fair bit of time to get this one going and get it right. It's actually really good. I thought it was it wasn't better than expected. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you, but it's really good. Like, you can hear how much work they've put into it and the amount of work. You can hear the riff, the dynamics. I think Steve's vocals have improved out of sight.
Yeah, that's a big improvement, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of the high harmonies and stuff and the layers of the harmonies were really, really good. So, I was very, very impressed with it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought the production was really good. It's solid. It's very much an old school style of metal. So if you like that, the lots of changes, the good breakdowns, some really cool grooves, this is definitely going to be up your alley to have a listen to. 8 out of 10 I gave it. I thought it was really strong. I still think they got some room to grow. Yeah. So standouts for me were Bang Your Head. I thought, geez, that was fantastic. That chorus. If that doesn't get a mosh pit going, nothing will. Dime a Dozen, which I didn't really know it was a single, but that's a really good choice for a single. Cool. I really like The Battle and Grenade. So, they were my standouts. But, looking forward to a third release from these guys. So I think that'll really catapult them to another level. Yeah.
It's a good one. You feel like they've found their feet on this one. They've finally got that foundation they've been searching for a while now. And this is, like you said, very much old school metal approach to it all. It's nice and punchy. I like the riffs and the drum work on this. I think if you like, the melodic metal kind of thing, like in a local context, bands like Espionage, you're going to really enjoy what these guys do. You got some, lots of melodies, some great hooks. You got some nice little growls going on in there too. It's not all, pretty stuff. You've got a bit of the mean to go with it. Some really cool harmonies, some fantastic hooks. Like the hook in Grenade is fantastic for me. I think that's, they've got some really good hooks on this. Really nice use of the tempo changes. The whole thing is interesting from start to finish. Great use of light and shade in that regard. So, and I thought the mixing in of little things like there's sirens, synth work, clock ticking, explosions, all that sort of stuff really has brought something to this record in that, sound effect Foley kind of a thing. It adds a bit of drama to it all and brings some impact to some songs.
I think I say old school because you don't get those on albums these days. You know what I mean? You don't get those little bits and pieces, which really make make albums become something really special. So, but I just love the dynamics, and some of the changes I thought were quite interesting in terms of, I wasn't expecting them to go there, but it seems to work really well within the song, but it actually kept my attention. Because thrash these days, you can sort of go, I've heard the first 3 songs, you've kind of heard the album. So you're either going to like it or you're not. But this you've got to get to the 3rd and 4th minutes of these songs to get, hang on a second. Thank God I did keep listening. Yeah. Because there's something else going on. I thought the solos were really good as well. Yeah, great solo. Yeah, no, it's quite good. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by what the guys had put out. So, I do know Rob pretty well out of the band. Cool. And it's really good to see that you can hear the work that he's put into it, because the last time I spoke to him at that stage, I were recording. So, I think they should be very proud of what they've done. Yeah,
definitely. I think the like you said, all the performances are solid on this, but the really notable improvement for me is Steve and his vocal. I think from, the EP we covered years ago, there's a lot of growth that's already been done. And like you, I still believe there's room to grow, but this is really cool. And what you're saying about the songs, that the album dynamics were really good in that regard too, because the whole thing flowed because of the composition was being, it was really good overall. But also because they've got this thing where they're themed, generally speaking, around war and that sort of context, they never get that theme that they, lead into, never gets tired. So they're creatively really interesting in the lyrics and the writing and all sort of stuff. It's not boring at all, even though there's a dimension to it which has got focus, but it's not tiring at all. And I think that in itself is worth credit, because it's hard to stick to a kind of a theme and not make it, get loaded with cheese or over the top or all, tired. And they did a really good job there.
I think if this is a concept album, they've done everything to make it flow. Whereas a lot of the times concept album, they have all these little interlude bits and pieces and stuff to try and tie in a story or an atmospheric thing or something like that, and it loses touch with the good moments. It's still just a bunch of songs that are played very well. So, and I'm pretty sure there would be, I think it is a continuation of War.
Yeah, I believe so. It feels like it anyway.
But it's taken a whole different turn, if you ask me. So, good on them. I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, growth and maturity here. If you like metal at all, there's going to be something here to headbang to. I do want to see where they go to next on the back of this. I think that hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later that we get the next release, not wait so long in between. But I think, they've grown, they've matured, they've settled into who they are. They've got the foundation now. So this is a good launching point for them to go on the next big thing from here. I think the next release will really show what they're capable of, because the confidence they should get out of this, they should be really proud of this one. It's very well done. 8 out of 10 from me. I think that's the same as you. I picked Grenade, The Art of Self-Destruction, and Nighttown. So we both picked one, but then, between us, there's a few different choices there as well, which is pretty cool. I like it when we get different standouts. That's nice.
We're always different.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
Majority of the time, we're always different. So, no, but that's all good. That means it's a good album.
Yeah. So, there's a lot there to choose from. There's a good, half dozen songs or more there to go and check out, if nothing else. And again, in the description for this, we've got a link to one of their songs, a link to the Grenade video. So go and check it out. Yeah, Sally's jumped in, so we're going to say hello to Sally. She's a long-time supporter of ours as well, so good to see you here. Thank you for joining us tonight. How about we change gears and move on to the next release? So next up, we have Thunder with All the Right Noises, 11 tracks for 48 minutes. The 13th studio album from the English band, released March 2021 by BMG. Produced by guitarist Luke Morley. 2 singles have so far been released in last one out, Turn Off the Lights, and Going to Sin City. Although I think they've just released another one since I wrote that down. These veterans are pretty popular with a lot of our lounge group, actually, because when I put the weekly post into the THRS lounge, if you're not a member, go and join. It's open to anyone. It's not a thing. It's where we post a lot of our nonsense into. A lot of people in that wanted to see this one, or we're going to go and check this out. So we figured, okay, we'll go and check it out ourselves. And thanks also to Chris Marek for sending this one through, to making sure that we were well and truly aware of this one as well. So where'd you land? This is very much a classic rock record. So how'd you go with this one?
Yeah, it's classic rock, but it's more along the lines of a bluesy orientated rock. Like when I was listening to this album as I was getting through it, I just pictured a saloon with cowboy hats and doing the Nutbush City. It
Oh, wow.
was this kind of country-esque. It just lends that feel to it for me. Not my thing. It reminds me of some Cinderella stuff, you know.
Okay.
Like their third album onwards, they sort of went that twangy guitar sort of. I don't know. It's not music that I get excited about.
Wow.
However, the emotion of the vocals and stuff was something that you don't get a lot of these days.
Yeah.
You know, you could really feel that he meant the words he was singing and all that kind of stuff. Having said that, there was a couple of decent moments, but overall, I probably wouldn't go back to this. It's just not my style of rock at all. I find it it's old man style rock, you know. It's not for the youth, definitely. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with that if the songs are there. I didn't think all the songs were there. I did tune in and out of this album a bit, and to keep my attention on it and stuff like that was difficult at times. Having said that, I thought Going to Sin City was a great song.
That's a good one.
I'll Be the One was a really, really cool. And going back to what I said about the vocals, you know, being really heartfelt and meaning your words, I'll Be the One was definitely a good song in that respect. St. George's Day was cool.
Yeah.
And You're Gonna Be My Girl was probably the other one that I would probably pull out of the bunch of 10 or 12 songs or whatever it was. Just don't need to hear this one again personally. Glad I heard it once.
Yep.
And that'll do me just fine. So 6.5 out of 10 I gave this one. It definitely wasn't bad, just not my style.
Yeah. No, that's all right. It's actually very cool to get that point of view because the song you mentioned, which one was it?
Going to Sin City.
Going to Sin City, yeah. That one's the one that if you want to check it out, I'll put that link in the description to this one. So that's the one that I've linked up.
That was the most rock, as in
a
little bit more energetic and sort of upbeat, I thought, you know, out of a lot of the album. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, you're right about it being, you know, classic old school rock. They're not trying to make any new fans with this one, so it's not going to be for the youth. They're just making records for themselves at this point in time that they want to hear, and that will please an existing fan base. I think if you're a fan of this band, this album is going to sit really nicely with you. If you're not a fan, I've not really checked out a lot of this band before. Depends, because we're going to get two different opinions here. Mick was sort of, okay, it was, you know, thereabouts. Me, I fucking loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I think the gritty tones, the smoky vocal, I thought the use of the female backing singers like you get out of the 60s and 70s kind of thing, that influence was really nicely done on this. And you can see the experience of this band starting out from 1989. If you liked the Alice Cooper album from earlier this year, we reviewed it a few weeks back. Check this one out. If you're a fan of that Alice Cooper album, check this one out. You'll cross over nicely into this. It's all about the lyrics and the hooks. This has that and then some. I think the composition was brilliant on this too for me. And the mix, it's one of the best mix albums I've heard this year. I think the mix was absolutely faultless for mine.
Production was really good. Like you couldn't fault that. They captured exactly the way it needed to be captured. So that I couldn't fault at all. Just for me, the songs weren't there in that style, you know.
Okay.
So,
it's like I said, it's cool to get, you know, some different opinions on this because just back on the production stuff, there's a little Foley touch in this. There's even a Jews harp in this. There's piano, acoustic guitar. So I get the country kind of twang that there is in some of these songs as well. But I thought, for me, the thing that really stood out was, I liked the composition, but the lyrics were more than enough for me to keep locked on. I didn't get tired listening to this at all. I loved spinning it over and over again. I thought it was really easy to take in. It's one of those albums that, you know, the songs and the lyrics, for me anyway, the way it impacted me was that it's easy to suck you in, but they've got something to say, which, you know, makes you pay attention to what's going on. And it was cool that, like what you said, you really feel the emotion in it. Even if it doesn't grab you as a listener, you're going to believe the emotion and the conviction of what's being said. Like St. George's Day, lyrics and things like that. You feel that they believe and they, you know, that it's all about the heart on this one. And I think that's, for me, what grabbed me the most. I thought, I really, really enjoyed this one. I think it'll be a top 10 album for me at the end of the year. That's how highly I rate it already. And I would love to see these guys tour with the Ugly Kings here in Australia. I think that'd be a ripping show. The two bands would go really nicely together. So if they come out here, Ugly Kings, get onto that one. Just signed with, I think it was Napalm Records, so hopefully we can see something happening in that regard. But yeah, for me, I loved everything about it. 10 out of 10 for me. So we got two very different opinions on that one. I've picked as my standouts change with every fucking listen. But last one out, Turn Off the Lights, The Smoking Gun, Destruction, Going to Sin City, St. George's Day, and many, many more. I didn't think there was a bad track or moment on this one. So that's interesting. So if you're watching out there, make sure you let us know what you think there. Jumping back to the social, Ben Jars has jumped in and gone, go Bombers. I don't know what the score is at the moment. So who's doing what? We have our tipping competition if you do want to join that. The links are in our lounge as well. And Brendan, of course, our Brendan has jumped in to say, and his buttocks are sublime. I'm going to say that's directed to you, Mick, after the comment about your hair earlier on today. So it's good to see the pool men giving you plenty of compliments.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, feeling the love now. And Nudes Null, he's a big supporter of ours as well out there on social media land. So cheers for jumping in on YouTube.
How you doing?
Saying hi, guys. So we're trying to interact with the people as much as we can in between doing the review. So make sure you give us your thoughts on anything that we're talking about here as we go along. If you don't agree with us, let us know. If you do agree with us, let us know. We don't normally do 4 reviews, but so, we will do this one and then one more special one we just squeezed in after because we didn't do a midweek session like we normally do. So we've made up for it with one extra review. But before we get to the bonus review for this week, we're going to move on to Rob Zombie with the Lunar Injection Kool-Aid clip. I think where the two of us go with this. This is 17 tracks for 41 minutes. The 7th studio album with American artist released March 2021 via Nuclear Blast. Produced by Zeus. 2 singles so far have been released in The Triumph of King Freak and The Eternal Struggles of the Howling Man, although I think there was another one which I just linked in today. What song is this? The last track on the album. Crow Killer Blues was just released as a video the other day as well, so maybe go and check that out. That's one I've linked in the description for this. Where are we at? So yeah, the King Freak and the Eternal Struggles and Howling Man on top of that. And this has, going through critics and that, what they've said about it, it seems to have been met with some mixed reviews, some good, some bad so far. So let's see how it went with us here. How'd you go with
it? Well, I listened to it. So for me, it's Zombie trying to go back to his classic era, if you will, Hellbilly Deluxe sort of vibe, but sounding forced because it's not 20 years ago now, and the songs just aren't there for the majority. Production, it lent itself to Dracula and all those classic songs that he's gotten, but it just it sounds fake now. Just doesn't sound like he's really into it. He doesn't really know what to do with himself. What sells? Well, that's what was selling for me. And I think the time's definitely passed. I think he's one of those fad artists that really the hardcore fans might get something out of it. But again, way too many bullshit interlude, crappy little bits of moments and pieces that really distracted from anything that was decent on the album. Production was okay. It had that industrial metal sort of vibe, which is what you expect from Rob Zombie these days. Again, I've been out of the loop with the prior couple. I sort of jumped off around Educated Horses because I thought that was rubbish.
I think a lot
sort of really hadn't come to this album, so I don't know really what's happened and transpired in between all that. But if this was a comeback album, didn't hit the mark for me. 4 out of 10. There was a lot of stupid titles and stuff like that don't really get me excited as it is. So the song has to be really good in order for me to get excited. But even the album title was just like, man, I fell asleep 3 times trying to read that. It's just that long and stupid. So for me, the standouts were The Ballad of Sleazy Rider. I thought that was really cool. The Eternal Struggles of the Howling Man, because that's what he does. He's struggling, but he's still yelling and screaming, apparently. And Crow Killer Blues, which what you said was just a brand new single, which is probably the best song on the album, and it's the last song. So maybe it gives you a little bit of hope for maybe a future release. But for me, this album was largely forgettable. I definitely won't go back, and I definitely won't buy it unless I find it for $5 because that's about all it's worth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just everything that he was trying to do, but just worse. 4 out of 10.
Okay. For those that know me, I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie and his work. Jody is as well. I think, if you know Rob Zombie, you know what you're getting out of it. If you don't know, it's that horror rock kind of vibe, perfect for Halloween. Lots of sound bites and Foley touches and sound effects and all that sort of stuff is built into this. It's just B-grade horror on a record is basically what's been going on with Rob Zombie, and this is no different to that. It's, as always, aggressive yet melodic, a lot of fun, and that's the game plan for these guys. I want to make the live shows fun, and that shows on this. There's a bit of darkness in this, but as Dave would say if he was here, it's the fun part of Halloween kind of a thing. I thought the production was really, really good on this. For what was going on, how busy it was, the production was nicely done. The use of the effects and the Foley accented things nicely in that regard. And I think there were some glorious guitar tones on this as well. John Five, is a beast on guitar, so you expect no less, but he really did. I think this album is more of an album from him than from Rob Zombie in a lot of respects. If you listen to John Five's last solo album, which was last year, I believe, from memory, that was really, really cool. And this has a fair bit of that diversity that you got from that.
Well, maybe that's the problem with the album. John Five had too much of a hand in it.
Maybe. But for me, I really enjoyed it. I think that was cool.
You're just trying to make me look bad.
It's going to be interesting because no, I can't anyway. You're getting all the comments on your buttocks and your hair and that anyway. So you're the one looking the good tonight. This one has probably the most sort of country twang on things than you probably had since something like Educated Horses. So if you didn't like Educated Horses, there might be some moments in this that will put you off. But I thought also on the flip side of that, there was some stuff here that reminded me of early Nine Inch Nails and the sonics of it, the riffs and the attack and drive on it too. Look, I'm a fan, so I'm going to be biased toward being positive to this. I don't think it's his best work ever. I think that he's sort of settled in and doing his thing, but his thing as a general always makes me smile. So I had a lot of fun with it, and I would buy it. I would go and see him live and do all those things because that's just I like what he does. If nothing else, it's a shitload of fun. Won't be a top 10 record, won't even be near it. But I think it makes me smile. Like I said, it's good fun. 8.5 out of 10. I picked Shadow of the Cemetery Man, The Eternal Struggles of Howling Man, and The Triumph of King Freak as my standouts on this one. So again, we got some different choices there. It's interesting to see that we're shifting into different directions on that one. Okay, here we go. So we got some comments on this review coming in too. So Sally has jumped in and said, I love Zombie, but I agree on Facebook here. The songs aren't there. Nothing jumping out at me. I'd Crow Killer Blues if I had to choose. So she's very much on the side of Mick here. So it's going to be me looking because bad.
She knows what's right. That's why.
Sorry?
Because she knows what's right. That's why.
And
good
on the
job,
flip
Sally.
side,
we can still be friends.
Yes. And then you got Nudes. Nudes Rob Zombie is too long. Half the track list would have been better. 18th Century Cannibals, Excitable Morlocks, and The One-Way Ticket on the Ghost Train are the best track. Or is the best track. That's a one. Yeah. There are some really ridiculous song titles, and I will pay that. It makes it too hard to go through this and read and pick out the things you do and don't like about it. But there you go. On the audience feedback so far, you're the winner, Mick, not me. So there we go. Not you looking bad. It's me looking bad now. So you're getting the comments. You're getting the agreement from the audience. Welcome back, Mick. It's been a little while for you, but it seems
they don't want me to take another hiatus. That's what it is.
No, they're showering with you with praise, so you make sure you stay with us for next time around.
It's all fake. It's all lies. I can see right through it, but it's okay. I'll go with it. I'm going with it anyway, so it's all good.
Take it while you can, man. Take it while you can, because the people that watch this back on replay later on probably have some meaner things to say to us down the line. We always get the mean
most
comments.
Likely, 100%. It's usually how it works. So,
pretty much, yeah. We get some interesting ones on YouTube in particular about 6 months after release. Generally speaking, it's very interesting to see how it plays out. We do have one more to go, though. One more review for everyone out there, so we won't keep everyone too long tonight, and then we'll do a bin and a wrap up and stuff after that. So But we're going to move to Saxon with Inspirations. We squeezed this one very last minute because it just dropped on Friday as we do this. So it's 11 tracks for 36 minutes. A covers album from the English band released March 2021 via Silver Lining Music. The songs chosen for this are hence the title Inspirations for the band. And to record this, the band got together in Brookfield Hall, played basically live and recorded with vintage gear using modern techniques. I believe they do have a new studio album in the works. I think they're delaying that until early 2022, and this is something to keep everyone engaged and tie people over. So covers albums are always a bit of a hit and miss or risky kind of affair. Where'd you land with this one?
Well, for me, cover albums from any band, you have to be a hardcore fan to really want to go and get it, unless there's some really, really different constructed songs to the covers, then really it's a pointless album. It doesn't really serve any purpose. You're better off putting out maybe an EP or 3 or 4, maybe 5 songs and having that tie over of even B-sides or something like that rather than doing a cover album. I recently picked up the Def Leppard one from like 2006, I think it was. Yeah. Okay. And because I'm a massive Def Leppard fan, that's the only reason why I got it. And I enjoyed it, but I gave it 2 listens and then I shelved it because I knew the songs and I didn't really got any more out of it. For me, this was done well. I mean, they play well and everything like that. I think the standout for me was Paperback Writer, the Beatles song. Yeah. Because it just was heavied up and, that sounded different. But everything that they covered, I got why they covered it. Hence the title Inspirations, because they were inspired by those songs, I guess, starting the band and all that kind of stuff. It's not something I need to own. Then again, I'm not a huge Saxon fan anyway, but it was good to hear them do something. I guess it was a lot of fun. You can hear the fun element in it.
Wasn't taken too seriously.
No, I don't think it was. But having said that, it was still done professionally enough to be decent. But for me, it's one of those things. You take it or leave it. If you're a hardcore fan, you got to have it. But overall, I don't need to hear it again. Because I knew that majority of the songs anyway. There's maybe 1 or 2 that I wasn't really familiar with, but they'll pick good songs. They did them well. 7 out of 10. I said, Paperback Writer for me really stood out because it was just rocked, a lot more than the Beatles version, which, let's face it, the Beatles didn't really do a bad song. No. It's just whatever era it was back then, So this was like a bit of more of a modern or their feel to it, as a rock band. 7 out of 10. It was all right.
Cool. Any particular standouts or just
that one, really, because I thought that sounded the most different to anything else that was sort of going on there. Problem Child by AC/DC sounded pretty cool. What else? They had Bomber by Motorhead. That was cool. They were all done good. They were all fine. It's just that one in particular. It jumped at me because of the difference of how it sounded without straying too far away. You still picked up what song it was and who it was done by originally, but they just gave it a nicer twist on it, So,
Cool. Well, it's a fun and fast listen. It's very easy to take this in because, you're going to know a lot of these songs. If you're of the vintage or era as a fan, you're going to know what you're getting out of this. But they did rock these up or heavy these up in the right ways at the right times without, ripping the song apart either. So they made it, so they did put their own stamp on things without changing things too dramatically one way or another, which is actually pretty clever. Well done. It's actually a kind of a hard line to walk in a lot of respects because doing covers, they either want to do it just, definitely in their own style or they go too much like the original. Getting that middle ground between those two extremes is the sweet spot for me. And they did that on this. I liked how they recorded in that live setting. You can hear that when you listen to this, that fun vibe that, we were talking about there. They didn't take it too seriously. They captured it well, produced it well, performed it right, all those things. Nothing's phoned in or half-assed on it, but it's a fun release. It's not a studio album for these guys. Just here's some fun. Let's do this because they haven't done one before either, I don't believe. So there we go with that. I think the performances were solid. It's got that little bit of the rough side of things to keep that live feel, which is cool. I think the only knock on the production I have is that it got too compressed. I didn't think there was an excuse for the clipping that you can hear on this one, which is always going to annoy the shit out of me. And I just think in this day and age with a band with this much experience, I know it's a bit of fun, don't take it too seriously, but if you're going to err on the side of caution, leave the headroom, don't make a clip. I didn't like that. It wasn't over the top or anything like that. It's a subtle thing. People probably won't notice it more than I do, but at the same time, I just, for a band that knows what they're doing, that was sort of like, come on, that was a little bit lazy. I didn't think that was the best thing they could have done. But around that, they play to their strengths and weaknesses, make things their own. They didn't have any cliche moments in this either. A lot of covers records have those cliche moments where you know it's just been a whole lot of cheese is thrown in there, and it's like, oh man, didn't need that one. But there's no bad takes on this. It's all very well put together overall. Again, it's a covers album, so I don't know how memorable it's going to be. It'll be one you'll look back on at the end of the year when you're starting to think about your top 10s, and you go, oh yeah, that was a thing, and then you'll sort of, that was a thing, and that's sort of where it'll sit. It's not something you're going to, reach for it off the shelf. It's not going to make you jump out. It's not going to make you a fan of the band. It's not going to put you off of being a fan of the band if you are already. It's just one of those things where it's nice to have it in their catalog, and it's good to, have something there for the fans to enjoy for the next little bit while, they're waiting for the next studio album, which is pretty much its main purpose, and that's all well and good. I liked what they did with tracks like Stone Free and Hold the Line as well as Paperback Writer. Yeah, they changed it up enough. They kept it sharp and focused. The Jimi Hendrix one was a bit more direct. So they know how to make it so that it suits Saxon without ripping it apart, like I said at the top. They did it very, very well. But yeah, it's one of those albums where it's cool to have, but if you're not a hardcore fan, there's probably not going to be a lot in this for you because the songs are really well known too. There wasn't any serious outlying choices kind of thing. Maybe the Kinks one at the end, which I thought was a bit of a flat one to end it on. A really slow track on the end of the album was like, that probably should have gone in the middle of the album to sort of give you that, side A to side B effect. But beyond that, it's pretty well done. 7 out of 10 from me. I picked Stone Free, Line, and Bomber's always going to be up there for me because I fucking love Motorhead. So hearing Saxon do Motorhead is not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. And we do have a comment from this one. We're going back to Tim for this, who's enjoying his footy while watching us. Saxon have always been a poor man's Judas Priest. Musically, they sound good, but the vocals have always let this band down. Wow, okay. I wouldn't have thought the vocals would be the weak spot for this band, but okay, there we go. That's from Tim.
I agree there. They were kind of, he doesn't have a lot of room in his vocal to do much. I think that's pretty much his range, which is pretty much a mid to high, maybe more on the mid side of things. I think they probably could have did a bit more vocally. Having said that, it wasn't something where I immediately went, wow, that's really bad. But if you're going to put it up against a band that's up and coming like Katana Cartel, for example, where Steve really put some excellent vocals in at points, and some of those harmonies and those high parts were, I didn't know he had it in him, So, if you're going to put up against something like that, there's definitely room to sort of do more of the vocals, I guess, in the Saxon front, So, but having said that, who knows how many times and how many takes and really what they wanted to do with it. If it's just something to tie over, then maybe close enough was good enough. So, whatever.
Yeah, I don't. It feels like it's a bunch of songs they played during soundcheck and they figured they'd put it down on a record, playing it live like a virtually a live set, and then just go and mix it after the fact. That's what it feels like to me. And for that, it's a lot of fun. It's well done, all those things. But yeah, again, at the end of the year, that one. But between now and the end of the year, there's probably not going to be a lot that makes
you'll forget it within a month.
This record.
It won't make the year.
Yeah,
we won't even talk about this album. This and probably Rob Zombie.
No, not again.
You'd be like, oh yeah, that. Whatever. So,
There wasn't a lot to make either of those two albums really jump out of the pack. Ultimately speaking, But for me, the Thunder album was a really good one tonight. I really enjoyed that one. And also Katana Cartel.
That's surprising. I both enjoyed
that one. I think
I'm surprised you liked that one as much as you did, because for me it reminded me, and I've got a few friends that really like the Heartbreak Station era of Cinderella, and that kind of has that feel. If you do like that bluesy country sort of vibe, then you definitely would like that Cinderella and this Thunder album that we're talking about tonight. So that's, for me, that's the weaker stuff for Cinderella, but some people love it. So it's
okay.
thing. So
Okay. Well, yeah, well, we're first time in a long time, and we're learning things as we go along, which is always the fun part for all of us here at the show as a general. It's cool. It'll be good. I want to make sure you're back for the next torture episode because that would be fun again. I think you missed the last one we did, so getting you back for that would be. I think that's going to be an important one.
Jesus Christ, man! There's probably 1,000 albums I've been heard.
Well, between now and the end of the year, we'll make sure you get a top 10.
That guy's back, the one that never likes anything. So, yeah, so that'll be me.
You'll be fine. You'll find some albums between now and the end of the year to make a top 10 up. I'm pretty sure. Well, we've got a lot to get.
Well, it's all up to you, boss man. So you're the one who gives it to us, and we got to give them a listen. Well, so if I had to go off this list, it's not a great return for me, man. So. This is all your fault.
We'll find you a good week. We'll find you a good week. I'm sure of it. Speaking of that sort of stuff, like I said, on Tuesday night, we're going to chat with Katana Cartel. So make sure you tune in about 7:30. I think it is on Tuesday night. But there'll be a post putting all this up coming out tomorrow. So yeah, Katana Cartel interview on Tuesday night. Wednesday, we'll do another live stream. I think in that one, we'll be doing Cicada Stone, Serge Tankian, and Paul Stanley as our releases for that one to have a chat about. We are on TV still for now. So Saturday nights, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 31 Melbourne and Geelong. Check out the post before this one to see what's on TV in just over an hour as we do this one. So go and check us out on telly. A lot more clips in that. And Thursday nights, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 44 in Adelaide. That's our time slot over there. Again, our details and a lot of the bands, like check out the music and all that sort of stuff is in the description or whatever you find of this one. Listening, tuning in later on, and not with us live tonight. Go and check out all the stuff you want to see. There's links for everything, including us, and also our fantastic sponsors as well. So a big thank you to Squidding Screen Printing, Old Cotton, Rockstar Finance. Appreciate your support. And if you'd be so kind, if you want to help us out, check out our Patreon page. There's a lot of ways to get involved there. But I think there's all that sort of stuff we can go through and more. But it's been a little while for you. It's been a little while for you. So do you have something ready to feed the bin?
Probably the last 2 years. So let's just put COVID in and all that kind of stuff. But we've already done that about 18 times already. So for me, what I'm going to put in the bin is the vaccine. Not because I'm against vaccines. It's because of how grey these fucking things are and how different all the countries around the world are doing it and how all of a sudden we went from nothing to maybe 3 or 4 different drugs to all these complications to how slow we've been getting the vaccine out, if it is good. And I can only go by this state. We've only just really picked it up in the last week and a bit, and we've had it for maybe 6 fucking weeks now, if not longer. And we were fucking around with it. We ended up finding a way how to throw some of it out because we didn't fucking use it right. I'm just sick and tired of the mismanagement across the board, not just here in Australia, but everywhere about how we're combating this virus. Sick and tired of hearing about it every day, and it feels like we're getting no closer. And to be honest with you, the reasons why I have issues with it is because they're basing all the vaccines off the original, and we all know it's mutated 2 or 3 times over now. So tell me how that vaccine is going to help anybody with anything, whether you're the elderly or not. I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be, but they're chasing their tails and have been since we found out about this fucking thing a year and a half ago. So I'm putting all these fuckwits in the bin. It's as simple as that. I'm fucking tired of gray area. Give me something concrete that's going to actually really do something beneficial, 100%, not 90% or 88, or we're working on it, or we wouldn't do this if we didn't think. Well, you're only guessing. We all know that. The average person knows that. So, sorry, I'm not interested in anything that's half-assed. So get your shit together. Come back to me with something that's good for everybody, not just us, not just this country, but the world, and then we'll go from there. That's it. Over to you.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Interesting points there. I agree with a lot of that. The one for me, though, is the bin of the week. I think everyone is talking about it, and it's going to be a double-edged sword on this one. That is that the Grammys and the way they snubbed Eddie Van Halen, which, is pretty much par for the course. So they can get in the bin for doing that. But in addition to that, I'm going to say that it's happened often enough. That's the point I'm going to make. Now, we all know this is happening. Yeah. We all know this is going to happen every single time.
The thing is, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame can't even get their shit together, and you want the Grammys, which is not catered for rock or metal at all, to get something out there. I agree with you, man, but I didn't expect anything, and I wasn't disappointed because that's how I expected it to be. They've been snubbing off this genre for the better part of 10, 15, maybe 20 years, So the fact that everybody's all upset about it now, they don't care if someone dies or lives, really, in this genre. It doesn't sell albums anymore. It's not in vogue. It's only the hardcore people that love this style of music, that want to hear about it. So, and I've just taken over your bin. So I'll give it back to you now. I'm back with vengeance, mate.
Well, it's been a while for you. You're due to get some things off your chest. But I think that we need to get over the conversation of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Grammys, and all that stuff. Look, we all know they're not going to do anything different. So put them in the bin, leave them in the bin. They're never getting out of the bin, and just don't watch or pay attention to the fucking things ever again, as far as I'm concerned. That's the best way 100%. To do it, as far as I'm concerned. Yep. Going to our comments here to have some fun to close off on things. Ray has gone, thanks, guys. Been great hearing different viewpoints on the albums, which I agree. It's actually nice to get, back and forth between a few of us that have different points of view, which is good. You'll find people to agree with or disagree with, and that's actually more fun all around, I think, overall. And I think Ben and Tim are going to go with this one. So Essendon just coughed up a 40-point lead in one quarter. New Year, same shit. And to follow that up, he's gone, Essendon can get in the bin. Now, for both of us, we're not going to really complain too hard about that.
So I've put the Blues in the bin for this year already after the Thursday night. So, yeah, the hell with them as well.
Yeah. And I don't know what this is about. Alan, I don't know on there. I don't know if there's a tag missing or something, but hey, there you go. We put the comment on the screen. Have fun. I don't know what that's all about, but we just put on the record. Just having some fun with the comments across the different social platforms. But it's been good. It's been fun. Thanks for jumping in for the first time in a long time. It's been good to have you back, and I'm glad the audience seemed to have been giving you some praise and some love this week as well, which is cool. How'd you find your first stream?
I think it was okay. It seemed to be all right. I still think I'm my pessimistic self. I called it how I heard it, and that won't ever change, unfortunately, for anybody out there that might want something different. It's just that's how it's going to be. But no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back a part of the show. Hopefully I can do it on a more regular basis now. I didn't realize how long it had been, but it's been quite a while. So those of you that still remember me out there, or maybe your first time, hopefully it wasn't too painful for you. And we'll do it again at some point very soon.
Beautiful. Well, looking forward to it. It's been great to have you back. We'll start to wrap up and let people get back to the evening. And we hope that everyone's having a great old Saturday night. Make sure you tune into the TV show coming up 10:30 p.m. tonight on Channel 31 Melbourne and Geelong for those watching. Otherwise, follow us, subscribe, all those sorts of things you know what to do. And if you're watching, listening on replay later on, hope you enjoyed the episode. But that's it from us here tonight. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Like I said, there'll be a post up tomorrow telling what's going on and when. So check that out tomorrow night. But until then, I'm Andrew.
I'm Mick.
As always,
Drink up.
And rock on with nice lag to close out the episode.
I didn't know if we were doing like a dramatic effect for the, the final siren sort of thing. Like you want the whole the daytime television thing where they look away and sort of do that thing for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Then it goes to a commercial break. But it was just lag.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So
yep,
anyways, enjoy your Saturday nights for those of you that are on our time zone. Yep. If you're watching it during the day or wherever you are in the world, have a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Yes, we will. Until then, look after yourselves and find some good music to listen to. I think that's a good way to sign it off there. See you all again soon.